Welcome to the Storm weekly recap. We're going to be going over last week. So just to look at a few things that are happening at the moment in the market, I think obviously one of the big situations is this Evergrande. I think it's definitely where a lot of fear has been priced in. I think we're going to having a look at how things evolve there. Having read a few things this weekend, I think some of the big guys involved, like BlackRock, have already taken their losses, and I see that Evergrande is trying to flog a lot of their properties at discounts. So I think all in all, a lot of it is priced into the market. We've obviously really sold off quite aggressively in the commodity space. And I think we're going to see this week's going to be quite important to see how if we turn further down or go higher. So just to look at a few charts here, I think the dollar has been one that we're going to look at first. Market position is certainly quite short of the dollar still. We had quite a rapid move into the close on Friday, and obviously we've seen commodities take a bit of a drubbing on the back of that. Key events this week will be the FOMC. I think that will, sort of define more of the direction. I think guys should be, probably more focused on the FOMC at the moment than China, because it might, I think this China situation will take a little bit of time, but I think the next, immediate, month or two will be FOMC related, where I think a lot of market commentators are saying that they're likely to do nothing and probably taper more in December. Another thing to keep your eye on is Biden's approval rating has really tanked aggressively. So I think just bear that in mind, and that might be responsible for the approval of this 3.5 trillion stimulus bill, which I think a lot of guys are backing off on at the moment. Let's have a quick look at the rand. The rand has been sort of very on the back foot. This sort of in line with the seasonality of the rand. Just a few levels. I think 1472 is where the 200-day is. It's flirting around that area now. So I think market is looking for this to get a bit weaker. I think we were expecting that. A couple of other levels, 1445. Obviously, the absolute decimation in spot prices for iron ore and some of the other PGMs have been quite weak, and I think also contributed to this rand weakness. Let's have a last look at another indicator, this US 10-year. I think this is quite an interesting one to keep an eye on. We also had quite an aggressive move into the end of last week. I think anything sustained above 140 could maybe spark a bit of a sell-off in equity markets, especially US equity markets. So I'd pay quite attention to that already. There's been no real massive move through there. So until we actually see that happen, then we'll see the next move higher. Right, just to run through a few stocks that we've got on our radar early on in the week. I think we will be focusing on Naspers. Naspers was a big buy into the rebalance on Friday. You could see the massive volume in the auction. 24.20-ish area, 24.15. If we can get a proper close above there and sustained buying, I think, with culminating with a weaker rand and maybe a good outcome in China, I think I would like to be long of Naspers. I think similarly, Process is another one that we would like to be long of. Sustained buying, if we can get above 12.47 and 12.16, really makes it look a little bit better and quite a decent play. In the commodity space, obviously everyone's backed off here for the moment. Let's have a quick look at Anglo's. Very decent volume into the close of last week. Really picked up quite aggressively. Obviously this is going to be one to wait and see how commodity prices stabilize. But around 520 is an area of interest. And I think, below this 574, this is, quite a dangerous stock to be long of. So I wouldn't be, jumping in here. Billiton's is another one. It's another great energy play. I think, guys are more bullish on this than than other blue chip stocks. Uh, just a level of interest 375. Let's see how it reacts on there. I think you can see a lot of these commodities have been quite belted through their 200 days. So another one just to watch how the market digests. We're looking. I think it's best to keep on the sidelines for now with regards to these guys. Sasol's an interesting one. Obviously, really, really strong. Towards beginning of last week, we did call this through 225, and it had that explosive move. But obviously, with market conditions being a bit weaker, it had quite an aggressive pullback. Some levels 225, 230, 75. Let's see if we can maybe establish a range a little bit higher now. Otherwise, if it breaks below 225, I think all long bets are off. But this might be one to look to nibble on this week. Kumba, another one that's very weak chart, all similar looking, with iron ore getting crushed. The two players that we were looking at early on this week is going to be Impalas. I think Impalas is going to be very interesting. Last day to trade on Monday. Some levels of interest. I think on Friday we could see when the kitchen sink was getting thrown at markets. This seemed to hold quite well. The levels of interest, around here, if we can get above 183, it'd be nice to see a close above 183, and then it goes ex-div on Tuesday. So keep an eye on this one. I think this might be a quick short-term scalp on the long. Similarly, Sibanye is another one that's on everyone's list. I think last week we had some decent, well, not decent, but we had some information out on them acquiring lithium, going into lithium. Not massive acquisition, so I think quite neatly packaged within their framework. Also, another one that when the market was down quite a lot, seemed to hold and show some relative strength. So I think this is one that we should also keep on our radar early on in the week. I think the stock can get above 50 again. Obviously, we're going on trade action here, and so hopefully we can get a short term bounce out of it. And then looking at CFR. CFR is another one that is last day to trade on Monday before it goes ex-div on the 21st. This is one that I think I'm looking still for. We have been short of it. We were looking for another short entry, I think, until further, sort of information is found out about luxury goods in China. I think this stock will be a bit weak. You do have a weaker rand, but I still think, I'm positioned. I think really think that there's more of a bearish side to this trade. Just 155.84. I think as soon as you get a close below there, we can see some more downside. Looking at Aspen has been an absolute rocket ship. Really one of the strongest stocks on the board. We've called this one since it got through 230. 244, I think. If you look long term or a bit wider out, this does seem that 244 could be like the edge of a cup and handle type formation. I think the stock's definitely one to buy on pullbacks, and also goes ex-div on Tuesday. And finally, just to have a look at the banking sector. Really, I thought they were incredibly strong into the close of the week. FirstRand, definitely one that market was getting absolutely hammered and held really, really well. Our local counters are really, really strong. So I think between FirstRand, around 60, the range between 59 and 61.50. I think anywhere in the bottom end of the range, you want to be owning this. Similarly, Standard Bank, also one to own. That's obviously paid a dividend, but I really do like the banking sector in general. So we'll be focusing also on that in the early part of the week. Quick look at gold shares. Nothing really special. Gold price got smacked. I think Goldfields was probably one of the stronger ones into the US session, but no real play there. I think in the focus in the early on will be looking at Naspa's process trade, maybe looking at Sasol, Sibanye, and Impala's holding really well, and Aspen obviously to keep on going higher. This is some of the thoughts for the week. We'll be obviously chatting tomorrow morning, but this is just some insight that we'd like to, sort of have a little general recap and where we're going on the week. Hope it helps, and we'll chat during the week.